2 years after my divorce, I signed up for my first online dating site. I was filled with mixed emotions. On the one hand, I was petrified. I mean, I'd heard so many crazy horror stories about all the insane people online. But on the other hand, I was filled with hope that I might actually find love. So the first few weeks were a bunch of duds, and finally I'm home alone on a Saturday night and I get an email from this guy named Charlie. I checked out his profile and he seemed really cool, so I wrote him back. And I didn't yet know that when you're home alone on a Saturday night and you're single, you shouldn't be emailing back people because that's a sign of desperation. But I was new at this, so he goes, "Do you want to get on the phone and talk?" And I said, "Sure." So we got on the phone and boy did we connect. I mean, we had so much in common. We had the same religion and we had the same number of children. We both liked hiking and biking and so many things that we spoke for 3 hours. I hung up the phone that night and I thought to myself, I've met my soulmate. Now, you know, a lot of people spend a long time online and never meet the one. I was online for 2 weeks and I met him. That night I couldn't sleep. I was filled with dreams of walking down the aisle with Charlie. So exciting. The next day we started to exchange emails, one after the other, and I'm going to read you one of them. He sent me this beautiful poem from this poet Rumi, who's an ancient Sufi poet. Some of you might be familiar with him. "Come to my garden in spring. There will be wine, flowers, and pomegranates. If you do not come, these do not matter. If you do come, these do not matter." I had no idea what that meant. It was so romantic. So that night, we got on the phone, we talked, and I wrote him an email, and I said, you know, I'm still wide awake just thinking about you. And he sent me another Rumi poem. To paraphrase Rumi, "When you are with me, I cannot sleep. When you are away from me, I cannot sleep. Thank God for these two insomnias and the difference between them." Still no idea. But I was in love. So Charlie and I were talking, we make a date for Thursday. So that's like 4 days away. And I'm not eating, I'm not sleeping, and I am sure he's the one. I am obsessed with his profile. I keep going back to look at it. And I noticed that he only has one picture posted. It's a little dark, and he's not smiling. So that night when I spoke to him, I said, you know, Charlie, you only have this one picture, and I really want to know what you look like. You're not smiling, and I'd love to see you smile. And I said, do you have any teeth? And he said, yeah, I got a few. And we laughed. I said, well, can you send me some more pictures? He said, well, I'm really not photogenic. And I said, okay, fine. We're going to see each other in a few days. So Thursday comes around. We're going to meet at 9 a.m. at Kosi's in New Rochelle. I was about halfway between the two of us. He lived in New Jersey, and I'm up here in Stamford. And I pull up to Kosi's, and I get a call from Charlie. And he says, I hope you haven't left your house yet. I said, I'm here. And he said, but I'm stuck in traffic at the Lincoln Tunnel, and it looks like it's not moving. I mean, it could be another hour. I said, hey, don't worry about it. I've waited a lifetime for you. I can wait another hour. So an hour later, I get another call. I'm still stuck in traffic. So I said, he's going like, I don't know, you know, I may have to postpone this date because I got to get back to work in a few hours. I said, you know what, don't postpone the date. I'll drive to the city. There's a Starbucks on 73rd and Columbus. Let's meet there. He said, fine. So I get there and I look around and not there. I call him up, Charlie, where are you? He said, I'm pulling into a parking lot. I'm almost there. Do me a favor and stand outside of Starbucks and wait for me, because I want to give you a big hug when I see you. So I'm standing outside and I'm waiting, and after a few minutes I see this man walking around the corner. It must be Charlie. My heart is beating really fast. And he looks a lot shorter than I thought he was going to look. And his shoulders are kind of stooped, and his cheekbones are really sunken in. And then he locks eyes with me and he says, "Sandy?" And he smiles a big, broad smile, and he had the most hideous teeth I have ever seen in my entire life. I mean, they were like green and missing and buck, and I mean, like, I really have never seen anything this bad. There was no way I was ever going to kiss that mouth. So he comes in for the hug. And I mean, what can I do? I have to hug him, and the smell of mothballs wafts up into my nose. Well, somehow I made it through an hour with him, and I'm telling you, I couldn't even talk to him in person. It was like there was a huge disconnect between this man that I had fallen in love with on the phone and through email and the man in front of me. And I learned a really important lesson that day. I learned that a profile is not a person, and that you need to really manage your expectations in dating. And above all, never show up on a first date in your wedding dress.